you've ever tried building your family tree, you've probably had a moment that felt something like this. Everything is going well. You find your grandparents, then your great-grandparents, maybe even another generation. You start thinking, I'm actually doing this. Then, without much warning, the trail ends. No explanation. No obvious mistake. Just nothing. Most people assume they did something wrong. Maybe they searched the wrong county. Maybe the name was misspelled. Maybe the records were destroyed. Sometimes that's true, but for millions of black families, something very different happened. And once you see it, you'll start noticing it everywhere. Over the last few years, historians and volunteers have helped make millions of handwritten records easier to search than ever before. Families are finding relatives in places they never thought to look, not because new history was created, but because old records are finally becoming easier to connect. That has changed how researchers approach black genealogy today, especially with projects involving the Freedmen's Bureau and other Reconstruction-era records. That raises an interesting question. If more records are available than ever before, why do so many family trees still stop in almost the exact same place? The answer isn't hidden in one missing document. It's hidden in how America kept records. And once you understand that system, you'll stop asking, why can't I find my family? You'll start asking a much better question. What records was my family actually supposed to appear in? That one shift changes almost everything. Before we open a single census book, before we read a military file, before we visit a courthouse, we need to understand one simple idea. Records don't just tell us who people were. They tell us who someone believed was worth recording. That's the part most genealogy books skip. And it's the reason two families living on the same road, in the same year, can leave behind completely different paper trails. Tonight, we're going to follow one ordinary family through that system. Not because they're famous, not because their story is unusual, but because, in many ways, their story is the story millions of American families are still trying to piece back together.